Meet Audi's new Q5, which you can get in petrol, diesel and plug-in hybrid, but not electric. And what I love about this diesel car is when I collected it, it had 1,000 kilometers in the range in the tank. Should you be considering this brand new Audi Q5 on your shortlist for your next car? I'll help you find the answer to that question in this video. Welcome to Nobby on Cars. The nose and face of Audis have changed over the last few years. They don't need as much grille action in the electric vehicles, but this has a few more holes because it's got an actual engine inside. The lights are now squished into this really neat daytime running light system. The Audi badge is flush, and on this particular car, what a beautiful plate for a Porsche 911. At least they're kind of from the same family anyway. Couple of grooves in the bonnet here. This is one of the most popular type of colours in Ireland. Grey, dark grey. It's a car that is just over 4.7 metres long. You can get up to 21-inch alloys, S-line alloys. In fact, this is an S-line version of the car. Huge wing mirrors as usual. You've got some roof rails to do your camping trips. Towing capacity is generous as well, over 2,000 kilos. Both petrol and diesel can tow the same great towing capacity, but I just think the extra torque on a diesel will make towing a little bit more pleasant. You'll be able to get the car in a standard Q5 or in a Sportback, depending on what type of design you prefer. Audi have been listening as well. The fake exhausts have been removed. There's actual exhaust down here. Q5 badge. All of the Sport and S-Line versions are getting this red flag now. You would have, in the past, only got that in S and RS upwards. Audi badge again is flush. There is a wiper and the huge light bar which goes across, and a very usable boot at 520 litres. And some genius in Audi has decided you can actually put the parcel shelf under the false floor now, so you can tuck that away. You've got access to the rear seats with a electronic handle to drop them. Got first aid kit, 12-volt charger, a flush load in, as well as the space for the parcel shelf. There is an actual kind of well area down here. No spare wheel though, you just a can of compressed gunk. And a good wide opening if you need to load things like dogs into the back of your Q5, because that's definitely one of the things you'll want to do. And this version is electronic. There's lots of extras in this car. In fact, 28,000 euros worth of extras. No, you didn't mishear me. 28,000 euro, including an air suspension, which is unbelievably good. I'll cover that in the drive. Not really used to seeing such huge humps in the floor in cars anymore. There is one of these in the Audi Q5 though. Now, under the seats, there's plenty of space for your feet. You've got grooves in the back of the seats for the knees, but I think it'd still be okay. I'm 175 centimeters, got loads and loads of roof height. If you get the panoramic glass roof, that is obviously not standard, that will eat into some of your head space, so you might want to leave that alone. You've got two USB-C charging ports, your own climate control and heated seats on this S-Line version of the car. Now, you want to have a look at Audi.ie because they like their packs, and their packs give you different kinds of things. Some of the individual packs in this car are around 3,000 euro. I think there's one for 7,000 euro. On the one hand, you could say, well, look, at least you can tailor make your own car. On the other hand, you might be going, Audi, where are you getting these prices from? You don't actually need the ski hatch area as you might find in lots of cars, because you can drop this individual part of the seat bench in a 40-40-20 split, and you can still load things in, which is kind of handy if you do lots of carrying things. You're going to find lots of hard plastics in the doors and the B-pillars. They still have covered up the door metal and stuff like that, so still feeling an Audi in that sense. It's probably more in the front where you'll notice some changes. Audi have been criticised over the last couple of years for their interiors. Just this particular, the centre area, the physical knobs are gone. It's all on this screen now. It is a permanent bar down the bottom, but I used to be able to talk about how Audi made the best interiors in the business, and in some areas they still do. Lots of this stuff feels very nice. The graphics on the screen and the resolution on the camera, all amazing. But this kind of centre area You're just not expecting to have that level of plastic detail in a car of this price. And then there's all the black gloss, which, yeah, it looks nice now because it's a brand new car. That is going to get scratched. You can't cover up this area. The only place you can actually secure things away is under the armrest. The whole €10. Life of a freelance YouTuber. I'm telling you, you're missing out. Worth an absolute fortune. You must be loaded. Yeah. All those things. These seats are heated. There's extenders in the back for your thighs. They're electric. There's massaging options. There's lumbar. You can go to absolute town in this car. The brake pedal sits quite a bit higher than the accelerator. Not sure why that is. And there's lots of haptic buttons, and if you hate them, well, there's no getting away from it. The cruise control stalk is still an actual stalk. Some people might like that actually, because I was only trying to explain to someone yesterday how the travel assist in an ID5 works with the buttons. You won't be left in any doubt in this. It's just pull it towards you to turn it on, push it away to turn it off. It's that simple. Head-up display in this car. Lots and lots of colour and bright graphics looking at you. The nav is easy to use. It also has inbuilt traffic with Audi's own internal system. Here, for example, where you rest your knee, someone has put some padding there. You know, there is lots of harsh plastics in this car now. So even at the €80,000 version, you don't really want to see all that harsh plastic. It is a change to what you may have seen in your Audi in the past. But for example, it used to drive me mad that a well-spec Q5 had needles for your instruments. Now it's all digitized, which it should have been a long time ago. So there's kind of trade-offs, but there's pros and cons for the interior now compared to in the past. All versions of the Q5 now at least get mild hybrid technology. It means it can maneuver at very, very low speeds in electric mode, including when you're parking and including when you're reversing the vehicle. So you can pull up and park pretty silently. Depending on how crawling the traffic is, it will also do a little bit of electric for that. The diesel, it's a little bit clattery at lower speeds. Once it's on the move, trust me, you would really struggle to tell the difference between the petrol and the diesel engine. The comparisons are pretty easy as well. They both just make over 200 brake horsepower. Obviously the diesel will have a little bit more torque. And that's what I was talking about earlier on. If you do a lot of towing, it's probably the one you're going to want. But the VRT based on emissions and all that stuff mightn't make it as appealing a purchase. It just depends. Then there's the optional €3,000 air suspension. Is it worth it? Well, it probably depends on the type of roads you drive on. Is it comfortable? God, yes. So you click your drive select mode button down here and you can raise or lower the suspension. There is just a setting which is called comfort. There's an off-road setting if you do need to do a little bit of towing and off the beaten track in your Q5, it'll just about do that. If you need to do that on a more permanent basis, you probably want to look at the Quattro version. Also, as I mentioned at the start of the video, there is a plug-in hybrid coming later. So you might want to hold on to that if you want the best of both worlds, low emissions, nice performance, all the rest of it. Up to speeds of about 20 kilometers an hour is where the mild hybrid thing will work. But don't confuse with plug-in hybrid, it's totally different. You'll actually be able to drive in pure electric mode at quite decent speeds in the plug-in hybrid version of the car. The steering doesn't have huge levels of feedback in it. This is more a comfortable car than a sporty car. On a comparison basis, the BMW X3 would essentially be one of its direct rivals. It's totally one of those cars though that if you know you're going to be doing lots of longer journeys, you can just imagine yourself comfortably munching the miles up in this thing, whack on your cruise control, very comfortable seats, the air suspension taking care of most of the work. It does hit the odd pothole and it crashes a little bit or speed bump, but when you're on a good road, you're just beautifully wafting along and it's very, very comfortable. I do appreciate €3,000 for an air suspension is a lot. It should be easy to achieve around 7 to 8 litres per 100 kilometers around town in the diesel. You'll hopefully get to sort of 5.5, 6 litres per 100 kilometers if you're doing motorway cruises. And that's another reason why you might want to go for the diesel. That's not to say the petrols aren't particularly efficient these days, because they are. Other cars to consider, the Porsche Macan, indeed the Cayenne could also work And this is the X5. Some of those models will be slightly dearer than the standard version of this car, but again, with all the extras, some of them will be cheaper. Not that you have to do 28,000 euros worth of extras, because whoever spec'd this car in Audi, they're not spending their own money. It's not quite the same. The plug-in hybrid is going to be the one worth waiting for, especially for Irish consumers. Unless you do really need to tow and do the longer journeys, the diesel, the way we're taxed these days, it just doesn't make any sense. I think the easiest people to convince to get the new Q5 will be people who have had the old model. It's just tweaked enough, doesn't look drastically different. I mean, you have this Q6 face now, but it's enough to keep those people happy. There is the BMW X3. I reviewed that car in Germany last year. I'm going to have it on the channel in the next few weeks if you want to hold off for that. I think that's a diesel as well, so that'll be a nice comparison. At 80 odd thousand, or a little bit under that for the entry level, 80 odd thousand for the S line, this car at 113,000 euro. It's hard to fathom that, it really is. But you know, obviously you have to put in all these packs. Audi Ireland have done that to show you the different things you can get with the car. So sometimes that happens with press cars. That's just the way it is. The air suspension is wonderful. You've got all the space. It is just the price tag point. It's still a very, very nice car to cruise around in. That bit hasn't changed. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. You might consider liking and sharing this video and maybe subscribing to the channel if you have enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for coming with me this far today. I'll see you next time.